So, which DAW should you use for your music productions? Let's find out. What's up, my name is Nick from The Future Musician, and today we're going to talk about which DAW you should use for your music production. Make sure to stick around until the end because I'm going to tell you which DAW I use and why, and I think it could be helpful. So if you're new to the whole music production thing, looking for the right DAW for your music production could be really overwhelming because there are lots of options, and actually they are all good and they do different things. And we just want to find a DAW that's suitable for what you need. So let's just dive into the different DAWs they have and for who I think they are useful. So let's start with Logic. If you are a Mac user, this might be a good option for you. What I think is the power of Logic is that they have really cool sounds in there, like really cool MIDI sounds. So if you are producing and creating and are just in a creative process in which you want to try a lot of different MIDI sounds and stuff like that, I think Logic is really cool. The thing with Logic I dislike is the editing part. So if you are into, let's say, more music production in a way that you need to edit stuff and comp stuff together, I don't really like that in Logic, but that might be personal. For mixing, it's fine, it just works like most of the DAWs. So Logic, yeah, if you're a Mac user and if you are really just creating demos and trying to produce stuff or just mix, I think it's really great. You can also record in it perfectly fine. I think the editing in it, yeah, I don't really like. So next up, Pro Tools. This is basically the industry standard. If you go to big studios or big commercial studios, you see guys working in Pro Tools. And it's great. I mean, I've worked in it quite a few times and it works really well. Especially if you're tracking live bands. So if you're tracking a lot of people together, yeah, Pro Tools is really, it really handles that well. For mixing, Pro Tools is very cool. It works really in a logical way, and editing in Pro Tools is also great. I mean, you can time stretch a lot of things. It's really built for live bands and stuff like that. You can really dive deep into the editing stuff, which is a good thing if you are producing bands and stuff like that. But what I don't really like is the MIDI functionality in it. It doesn't come with a lot of cool sounds when you buy it, so you really have to invest in cool third-party plugins to get a good sound out of it. And I guess you can arrange stuff in that and that works perfectly fine, but yeah, the stock sounds in it are not that great. So if you are a producer who's tracking mainly live bands or doing mixing or lots of editing, I think Pro Tools is great. If you are more a songwriter who just wants to create demos and wants to have a lot of MIDI sound flexibility, I don't think Pro Tools is the best option for you. Next up, Cubase. So I think Cubase is really versatile. Cubase is really great for recording stuff, it's really great for editing stuff, it's really great for mixing stuff. And I think it's great for producing because there are lots of cool sounds included also. So overall I think it has the best things of Pro Tools and it has the best things of Logic. So for me, I think you know where I'm heading. But I think Cubase could be great if you are into lots of different things. So if you produce, if you mix, if you create stuff, I think Cubase is really all around. Also, Studio One and Reaper kind of work in a similar way. So if you don't like Cubase for whatever reason, you can also check those. And the last one I want to talk about, Ableton. When I first worked in Ableton, it really fucked with my brains because it worked in quite a different way than all the other programs I mentioned did. But I found it to be really useful in a live use. I think it's great for stretching audio, creating live loops, stuff like that. I know lots of electronic music producers who also work in Ableton just because of the functionality and the possibilities with virtual instruments and stuff like that. So if you are into more electronic kind of music and more loop-based music, I think Ableton could be really interesting for you. If you're into producing bands and stuff like that, I don't know whether I would recommend it. But yeah, if you're into electronic music, stuff like that, or if you are looking for software to run a backing track live, I think Ableton is the bomb. So the thing with DAWs is that basically they are all great and they all work perfectly fine, and in the end they can practically do the same things with a few exceptions there. But yeah, if you want to just record music, mix music, Ableton will work, Pro Tools will work, Cubase will work, but they just have different things they stand out in. So that is why I chose Cubase. So I use Cubase because I do lots of songwriting and creating demos, and they have lots of cool sounds you can work with, you can play with. But I also track a lot of bands, live instruments, and the editing in Cubase just works really good for me. Also mixing, not a problem. So yeah, Cubase does all the things I need in a good way. For me, it's the most versatile of a DAW. But it doesn't mean it's the best. It's also a personal preference. What I would recommend, if you're looking for a DAW, just look at all the different basic tutorials on it. Like most of the times, they have basic tutorials with a general overview, and you can just look at what they are saying, what the features are, which features appeal to you, and if you like the layout. It sounds like something really weird, but you have to look at your screen like for days if you're doing this a lot. So the layout is quite important. Yeah, you can do everything in every DAW with a few exceptions there. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope that it will help you in your quest to finding the right DAW. Let me know in the comments which DAW sounds good for you. I'm really interested to hear what you think. Also make sure to hit like and subscribe, and then I will see you in the next video.